Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Adelina, and I received my Bachelor's of Architecture from NJIT. And since then, I've been working at an engineering firm and now most recently at an architecture firm. And this is my classroom design project. Next slide. So this is the site plan which was developed last semester, and I'm specifically concentrating in the circled zone on a fourth grade classroom. In the next slide, we can see how the site has been broken down in different zones. So in our previous semester, we basically each took a zone and developed that specific zone. I specifically worked in Zone B, which is the food garden and greenhouse, rain garden, compost, that whole area. And then the zone that I'm particularly concentrating on is Zone A, which is a playground and has a series of 3 classrooms. So in the next plan, you'll see the classroom that I chose, and that's closest to the playground, Kelly Drive, and Calumet Street. So things that I'll be dealing with is noise isolation from Kelly Drive, which is a really busy street, and also an integration with the playground that's immediately adjacent to the fourth grade classroom. So this is a fourth grade classroom. You enter from the northern side into an entry vestibule, and you have a wash sink for the kids who are coming from the playground or from outdoors so they can wash up. You have storage cubbies and along the wall of the vestibule. And then that vestibule is completely sealed off so that no cold air or warm air can really escape the classroom, depending on what season is. So you enter through a door, and you have immediately along that wall a smartboard and more individualized seating for learning. And then in the rear, you have group collaboration space with shelving and cubbies and other things like that. Directly next to that, along the northern wall, you have computer stations for the kids. And on the outside, on the south side, you have an outdoor learning space which the children can use during the warmer months. And the teacher could take learning outdoors when it's warmer outside. And then immediately to the right of that is the rock climbing wall, which is kind of an extension of the playground. And in the next slide, we'll see the site plan or roof plan of the classroom. You have a pergola, which has been integrated to a wood play castle. So that whole system becomes a play and also functional system for shading, as well as for play for the castle. And then you have a rope climb, which you can use directly from the playground. Again, the rock climbing wall, a slide, a series of ladders on the north side, all to kind of simulate that play model because this classroom is so close to the playground. Again, brush and vegetation for both cooling and also for noise isolation, because you have Kelly Drive directly adjacent to this classroom. So that will be something that will need to be addressed. And the next slide, we can see the north and south elevations. So along the north, at the top, we have a series of louvers that can allow for through ventilation throughout the classroom, and also operable windows at the computer workstations for the kids to be able to open up the windows and get some more ventilation through the building. On the south elevation, you have a top sort of clear story with louvers that can allow for light, diffused light to come into the classroom and all the way to the back. And on the lower portion, you have, again, a series of glazing with hoppers on the bottom that can be opened up and allow for through ventilation. You have some swings and other playground playthings that the children can use, whether they're at the playground or during recess. On next slide, you'll see the west and the east elevations. So on the west, we have no glazing or no fenestration. And then on the east, we only have that that double door that allows you to come out to the balcony, and kids can use that to view the playground or just have views out towards the rest of the site. So that's the only fenestration along the east elevation. And then you can also see the louvers and overhang at the top clear story. And next slide, I believe, is the section which is showing how daylighting will come into the building and be bounced in all the way to the back of the building. The building is quite narrow, so you're able to get daylighting all the way in the rear. Ventilation coming through the top and also from the bottom through a series of hoppers and escaping through a series of louvers and operable windows along the north side. And I'm planning to use radiant heating as my heating source for the classroom. This is just the southwest axonometric, again looking at the classroom from the outside, the louvers, and mainly what the south elevation looks like with that pergola and castle play area, which I plan to incorporate more into the design and not have it so much as a standalone item. Next axonometric is the southeast, showing the rock climbing wall, the rope climb, the balcony at the east, and slide. And the playground is continues on that brownish surface. That's the beginning of the playground. Next slide shows the northeast side. Again, rock climbing wall, just showing the north elevation with the louvers and operable windows. The entry door, I plan to kind of make it a little bit more ceremonious, a little bit more accentuated, a little bit more. But for now, that's the main entry into the classroom. Next slide. Northwest axonometric, again showing that entry vestibule with a lower ceiling height, and then the larger, higher ceiling height, mezzanine and main classroom area. An interior perspective, just to give a feel of what the classroom looks like and the kind of daylighting that you are able to have within the classroom without any sort of artificial lighting. And I believe this is taken at 3 p.m. During the winter time. And you can see that you get really nice lighting into the classroom, even all the way back where the computers are located. The main structure I will have to work on a little bit more, but the walls and the roof is made out of SIPs, and you have wood columns and support beams that will basically support the roof. Next slide is showing a series of interior daylight studies. Summer solstice at that should say 10 a.m. and then 3 p.m. and winter at 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. just so you can see what kind of light you get even later in the day. It seems like quite a bit of light is able to come into the classroom, and potentially only the computer workstation would need a little bit of artificial lighting, later in the day or earlier in the morning, but it seems like a sufficient amount of light is coming into the space. The next slide shows equinox, spring and fall, again at 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Basically the same. Natural daylighting is allowed, is able to come into the room, and it doesn't seem like a significant amount of artificial light is needed, but some recessed lighting could be provided by the computer stations along the north face of the classroom. And exterior daylight analysis, reinforcing what the pergola is doing, what the louvers are doing, just allowing for indirect lighting to come into the classroom and provide shading during the summer times and allow for warmth of the sun to come in during the winter time. And as I further go into my project, on the next slide, what I plan on doing is continuing to kind of enhance and develop Miquan's visions and goals of this learn through play model, and even building upon the play even more and incorporating it into the design of the classroom. Maybe have that rock climbing wall begin to act as shelving or seating on the inside of the classroom. Just really begin to play with the form of the classroom design, and for the performance and systems, maximizing the sustainability and efficiency of the classroom through a series of design changes, material choices, and other integrative design systems like rainwater harvesting, and anything that is really needed to make the classroom as self-sufficient as possible. And that's my presentation.